Konnichiwa. That's Japanese for hello, but that's not the word that I'm here to talk to you about today. The Japanese word that I really want to share with you is omotenashi. So what is omotenashi? Usually, it's translated into English as hospitality, but really it's a uniquely Japanese concept that goes so much deeper. It's about a completely selfless approach to serving others. Literally translated, it means lack of a public face. And what this means is that you're exhibiting your genuine self. It's not a show that you're putting on that ends when you clock out at the end of the day. So what are some differences between omotenashi and what we typically think of as Western hospitality? Well, first of all, Western hospitality is highly visible. We want our customers to know that we're performing a service for them. Omotenashi is more invisible. It's more about the thoughtful little details that are going to go mostly unnoticed, but are going to serve for a more comfortable experience for your guests and customers. Western hospitality is transactional. We usually expect or at least hope for something in return, whether that's making a sale, or we're going to make a tip, or we're going to get a positive mention on a customer comment card, or a positive review on Yelp or TripAdvisor. Omotenashi is much more selfless. It's done without expecting anything in return. There is no expectation of any kind of reward, recognition, or reciprocation. Western hospitality is reactive. It responds to customer needs and requests as they arise, while omotenashi is more proactive. It's about anticipating unspoken needs and addressing them without even being asked. Western hospitality has a goal of customer satisfaction, which often means responding to complaints, helping resolve problems. And omotenashi is more about wholeheartedly caring for the guest. Western hospitality has the mantra that the customer is always right, which, let's be honest, can feel like an obligation sometimes. Omotenashi is more about deep respect and treating the customer like they're an honored guest. Western hospitality can feel very trained, while omotenashi is a way of life. In Japan, they learn this value from a very young age, and it's ingrained and embedded in every aspect of their daily life. So I had the opportunity to go to Japan earlier this year for work, and so I was fortunate enough to be able to experience some genuine Japanese omotenashi, and I want to share a few of those examples with you. This is Himeji Castle. My coworker that I was traveling with and I had exactly one day off while we were in Japan, and we had expressed that we were interested in visiting Himeji Castle. A couple of our Japanese colleagues, they didn't just tell us how to get there. They took that day off. It was a Sunday. They gave up their Sunday to personally drive us to Himeji Castle, which was an hour and a half away. They paid for our admissions, and they acted as our tour guides for the entire day, including a detour into Kobe on the way back for some souvenir shopping. And that is the epitome of customer service. Omotenashi is also appreciated in the smaller details. So these are a couple of pictures from my trip. On the left, that's my purse. It's in a basket under a table in a restaurant. The server brought the basket so that I wouldn't have to put my purse on the dirty floor. I mean, that really charmed me, right? She did it so unobtrusively. I hardly even noticed that she was doing it. She wasn't calling attention to herself, no fuss. That basket just kind of magically appeared. On the right, that's for my hotel room. The housekeeper had created this cute little pocket out of a washcloth and tucked my makeup brushes in it. And that attention to detail for something that was so seemingly insignificant, such a small personal item, it really charmed me. This is the executive lounge at the Conrad Hotel in Osaka. This is the scene of probably what was the most memorable omotenashi that I experienced. When my coworker and I got to the Conrad Hotel to check in, it was late. We had traveled from Tokyo, and we got there to check in, and the front desk agent did something pretty surprising. She didn't check us in. Instead, she whisked us straight up to the executive lounge. She sat us down in one of the tables that you see there by the window overlooking the view of the city. And while we went to get a bite to eat, to grab a bite to eat from the food that they had out in the executive lounge, and another agent that was stationed there in the lounge came and knelt between us and checked us in while we ate. So why did the front desk agent do that? She didn't have to do that, but she was brilliantly anticipating our needs. She knew that after our traveling, we would be tired and hungry. She also knew that the food service in the executive lounge, because it was late, was about to end, and that if she checked us in right then in that moment, we would have missed it. So her overriding concern was for meeting our needs and making sure that we were comfortable. So why does this matter for us? How does it translate to the United States? Because after all, both countries do care about customer service. And the best way that I can describe it is by telling you about two theme parks. So who's been to Disney World? Most of us. Who's been to Dollywood here in Tennessee? Right? So do you guys know what's different about these two theme parks? Well, at Disney, the experience is very pixie dust and magical, and they're trained to provide that experience, and they do a really good job of it. I grew up in Florida. I've been going to Disney my whole life. I never felt like that service, that pixie dust, felt fake until I went to Dollywood. And when I went to Dollywood, what I experienced was such genuine hospitality. I didn't feel like they were putting on a show. I didn't feel like it was fake. It felt like at the end of the day, they would have invited me into their home if they could have. And that's what we should be training people. We shouldn't be training our people to perform a service. We should be training them to have a thoughtful approach to hospitality. They shouldn't be embracing thoughtful hospitality as a way of life. So I want to leave you with a few provocative questions. What if, like in Dollywood and like in Japan, we cared for each and every guest the same way we would care for the people who are most important in our lives? What if we treasured every single moment we have with our guests? What if we treated every interaction with a guest as if it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience? What if we challenged our team members to really live these concepts every single day? What if? Omotenashi. Thank you.